Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's episode. This is Art of Religion into a closer walk with God. So today our topic is or will be on praying the right way. Praying the right way. So I start. The reason we pray is to have God intervene in certain situations in our life. But for prayers to be answered, it has to meet certain biblical criteria. Prayer can be as simple as speaking the words within your heart to God and communing with God, having grasped His will and boast upon His words. Your request will be in line with God's words. What I'm saying is that prayer can be as simple as in your heart. You don't need to speak it out. Commune with God, especially when you know that what you're saying is in line with His word. Grasp His word and use it to commune with Him, communicate to Him back. I'm saying that prayer can be as simple as that. Now, continuing with praying the right way. I said, remind God of what He said. Remind Him of His word. In your prayers, when you come to pray as you're praying, every train have protocols. When you're praying, the content of your prayer, I'm saying that you remind God of His words in your prayer. Don't fill your prayer time with your own words. Let God's words enter into your prayer. Let it be part of your content. I said you cannot separate someone from His words. Therefore, you cannot pray to God outside the written words. The written words is known as Logos. In Isaiah chapter 3, to make us move a little faster, I'll be reading from what I've written down instead of opening the Bible and closing it. So in Isaiah 43, verse 26, Scripture says, review the past for me. Let us argue the matter together. State the case for your innocence. This state the case of your innocence. Some Bible version says, remind me of my words. Let us argue together and let's find out how innocent you are in this matter. So this is what Prophet Isaiah wrote. God is challenging us to argue His own words with Him. Bring back His words to Him when you pray. In your prayer, tell God, Father, you said in the book of this and this, Job, let's say in your words, tell God in the book of Job, chapter 22, verse 28, thou shalt decree a thing and it shall be established. I'm trying to give an example of how to pray, what God expects us to do. Don't just fill the word with, oh God, I want this, I want that. Tell Him where He made provision for what you are requesting for. Bring His own words back to Him. Now I'm giving an example. I said, therefore, Father, I'm decreeing that this problem at work is over. Because in your word, you asked me to decree it, and it shall be established. Now you are now making the decrees written in the book of Job 22, verse 28. This problem at work is over. I cancel so and so. I cancel this situation that I don't like. I bring back sanity to this situation. Because you're decreeing things. That's what that's the example I'm making. You're decreeing things the way God expects you to decree. As I go to this my new job, Father, grant me favor. For your word said, there's something, if you're asking God for favor, if you're asking God to grant you favor, there's a place God made provision that we should be favored. So that's in Psalms 5:12. For surely, O Lord, you bless the righteous. You surround them with favor as a shield. You know, a shield is something that guards somebody around. So this passage is that God used favor to program us around, to turn around us. So remind God of this verse when you want to ask for favor, when you need a situation that needs people to favor you. For surely, O Lord, I take it again, you bless the righteous, you surround them with favor as a shield. This means that God wants us to have favor wherever we go. If you are going out, the book of Deuteronomy 28:28, it says when you are going out, you're blessed. When you go into the city, you are blessed. When you go out. So everything you do, God blessing and favor ought to follow you. So ask God for favor using the scriptures. Now, I said that demonic agents or the demonic word, most of the thing they do is word. They curse. They cast spells. All these things are done with words. They use this word to curse people. They use it to chant, cast spells, say things. Use words to praise their own, whoever they're serving, their Satan. They use the same word to curse people and declare pronouncement. Now, I'm trying to say, how about we? We are the people that have the original right to declare this word. We are the children of God who has been given the right to declare things, and we ought to know how to do it better. We're not copying them. Whatever is written in the Bible, every principle you see the Satanists practice, they copied it from God's word. Now, it's as if we are the ones not taking advantage of these provisions. Because Satan has been with God, so he knows this principle and teach it his people, and they use it to undo us. We are the kings. We are like, the Bible says we are like kings. So to declare are the things we are supposed to do. God have taught us we're supposed to do. So when you come to pray, do not pray in a beggarly manner. The Bible said that we are kings. Use declarations to change your world. Turn around, you declare, I don't want to say this again. This is what I want to say. You proclaim the words, you declare them. Be bold. When you pray, be bold. Do not fear, because he that is in you is greater than he that is in the world. You can't pray in a beggarly way. You can't do things as if you're shying away, as if you're not sure. If you know those things are in the Bible, when you talk about them, when you declare about them, be bold about them, because it is written, is in the word, is in God's word. It is his provision for us. Think of it this way. If the enemy is so powerful, why is anyone alive? Do you think that Satan wants you to be alive? Of course not. You're alive because God has the final say. So whatever they do, they applaud the decisions. You're alive because God's mind is not comparable to Satan's ploys. Praying in a beggarly way, a beggarly manner, means that you don't know who you are. If you know who you are, you pray with boldness. You declare the things you want to see. You're not afraid of every situation. You miss situation, you are in the office, they can go up against you. You know that it is not the final say. The Bible says, when they come against me in this way, in this other ways, God is making a way for us. So don't be as if you are pushing to a corner. God is there waiting for you. Say, call upon me and God will answer you. Don't act as if you are pushing to a corner, you're in a tight corner. Oh, what do I do? There are so many things to do. So that is what the first one I said. I said, remind God in your prayer, remind God of his words. So the next one I want to take up now is, when you pray, don't pray your fears. Those things, oh, I'm going to fall sick, the way I'm having sickness, maybe don't pray out those your worries. Don't pray out those your fears. Don't pray out those things that are not, you don't want. You pray what you want to say. You don't pray what you don't want. So I say, what is the content of your prayer? Are they fearful words? Are they faith-filled words? Your prayer should be faith-filled words. Words spoken out of faith. Words spoken out of knowing that God is greater than the enemy. Words you speak should be words that will make you know that he that is in you is greater than he that is in his word. Many times when we come to pray, we voice out our difficulties, we voice out our limitations, our insecurities, and our worries. Not caring whether God conform to these things, not caring whether these things we are saying, whether they conform to God's will or not. Fear and worry are not from God, they are from the devil. So if your words are full of concerns and worry, then God will not hear you. Speak in faith. Speak out of faith. Don't pray in fear. Don't pray out your fears. Father, I know that this situation I find myself is not comfortable, but I'm certain change is near. Boldness, faith. I know that I'm coming out of it. I know it's not going to consume me. And if there's any lesson, I find myself now, I know that this situation I find myself now is uncomfortable, but I'm certain that change is near. You're making a proclamation. This situation is uncomfortable, but I know that change is near. God doesn't desire you to be in an uncomfortable situation for a long time. I know that change is near. I know that I'm coming out of it. Now, this is one part of it. When you declare those words, also declare some words of God. Both in your prayers, not to be afraid. That is one part of the prayer. Now I'm trying to jump into something else. Now I said, when you finish that your prayer, also, if there's any lesson you need to learn from the situation, you can also say, Father, please point it out to me. Open my eyes to get the lesson you want me to learn from this experience. What am I saying here? Some situations we find ourselves might not just be that Satan just come to kill us. God could have allowed that situation to teach us a lesson, to make us learn. We are in a learning process with God. Most of our mistakes, we actually should learn from them. If you notice a situation somebody passed through and learn the lesson, most time the person will not go back to it again. If it's somebody that is serious, you won't go, because you've learned the lesson, you've endured the pain, you've understand what God is saying. Most times we don't have to go back to that again. That's what I'm saying. So watch out if what you're going through is God allow it so that you learn something. I gave an example of what happened to me a particular week. It's long, so I'm going to find a way to summarize it. There's a particular week I was so carried away. I have a job I do, like 2 jobs, but one of them is just a private individual. At the end of the week, every Friday, it pays me. So this particular week, I forgot to pay my tithe. I was just carried out with, this bill need to be paid. I didn't pay my tithe for a particular week. I said, okay, next week I'll pay. Unfortunately, that next week I said I'm going to pay it. At the end of that week, the man refused to pay me. But this particular week, this man forgot to pay me. He simply apologized. I was stunned because it was a weekend. I have budgeted all the things to do with the money, and it's on a Friday. The man simply said, I forgot to pay you. So it was so funny. And I sat back and reasoned and asked myself, what just happened to me? Because it's a Friday. I have planned. I'm going to get this. I'm going to cook. I'm going to get this. Waiting for this guy to pay me. He said, no, he just forgot. Just like that. So, and I sat back and asked him, what happened? Now, remember that, then it occurred to me that this is a way God was reminding me. How could you have forgot to pay your tithe? God could have allowed that man to forget, because I also forgot to pay my tithe. Now, I'm saying that God could have allowed that situation to happen to me. I feel the inconvenience. I feel the pain. Just a little lesson to make me know some things come first. Now, I quickly said, God deal with each of us differently. Remember that it might not happen to another person that way. That is just me. That's what God allowed to happen to me. It might not happen to another person that same way, because God deal with each of us differently. If you are just learning to pay your tithe, most probably God will not use that situation God will not tempt you with that kind of situation, because you're just coming to terms with that principle. But for me, I should have known better. So in any uncomfortable situation, think if God is saying something to you. Why will I forget to pay my tithe? I need to do this. I said, after calculating that, I forgot it. I said, okay, I'm going to do it next week. That next week, it didn't happen. I was also struck by my employer for forgetting to pay me. Like I said, that's why I said it's it's not a big organization like that is very, very advanced in doing things. This is just a one-man business. So, finally, for praying the right way, I said, don't pray your fears. The last one is supposed to be doubt. Excuse me, I think I missed. Okay. So finally, doubt. When you're praying, don't pray and doubt. God wants us to have confidence in His ability and willingness to provide what is necessary for us to attain to godliness. He wants us to believe that He can and will do what He says He will do in our lives. So when we doubt, when we ask, expecting rejection, when we ask, almost hoping for rejection, as we go do this, okay, let me pray. You're not praying, you're not really sure. That kind of mindset will hinder our prayers, because you're praying as if, will He do it? Will He not do it? The Bible says, if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask God, who gives generously to all without reproach, and it will be given to him. Now, God is telling you that whatever you lack, including wisdom, academic wisdom, life wisdom, ask Him. Now, He's the one that's telling you to ask Him. If He won't do it, why will I tell you to ask? But let Him ask in faith, without doubting. For the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea that is driven and tossed by the wind. But that person must not suppose receive that he asked from God. Excuse me for that. What are we saying? When you're asking God something, don't say, will He do it, will He not do it? He's the one that said, if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask. So if He said that, which means whatever we ask Him, He can do it for us. So when you pray, you're doubting, can God do it? It's as if you are doubting the ability of God. God can do all things. He said He can do far above, exceedingly, all that you can ever ask or think. He can ask all just. That's why if you notice, most of my teachings, very, very often, I'll come back to praying the right way, because most of our answered prayer is because we are not praying right. That's why I said, let me do a short summary. That's why I said to pray right. The first one is your words will not just be empty words. They will line up with God's words. They will line up with God. God have His own words. God's words are not written in the Bible. So whatever there's nothing maybe there's some few things. I wanted to say most things you ask already in the Bible, but there are some things. If you want to say you want to change a new house, you won't say in the Bible where you say change it. But when the Bible says trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not in your own understanding, it covers most requests. He asks you, don't say this is pretty, I like it. If you want it, there's a provision for how to go about it. Say trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not in your own understanding. So most requests might not be technically written in the Bible, but the concept of how to go about it is there. So, praying the right way, I said, remind God remind Him of His words. Father, this is your word that I should live in in safety. I should live in peace. Remind him of that. I shall not lack. You remind me of that. Above all things, I wish that shall prosper and be in health, even as I so prosperous. So I should not be in sickness. Divine life is at work in me. Jesus bore my sickness in his own flesh. So these are all God's word. When you are sick, why should you be sick? So you have those words you're going to remind God. So this sickness must get out of my body because Jesus has paid for it. So you have words you're going to remind God. This is what you said. You remind God of his words. Number 2, I say don't pray your fears. The things that make you afraid, your insecurities, your worrying, the things that worry you. When you're praying, don't repeat them. I'm bothered over this. No. Use faith-filled words. You make declaration. You say what you want to see. Don't pray what you don't want to see. Declare the things you want to see. Finally, I said doubt. As you're asking, if you know how big God is, so don't doubt. What you ask him, he will do, even though he might not do it at your own time because he also has his own timing. So, but that your boldness, that you're not doubting means you respect God, you honor God, and you believe God. So don't doubt when you pray. These 3 passages are some of the ways to, it's not only this, there are still many. Some of the ways we can pray right so that we get our prayers answered, which is exactly what we want. And also God is also willing to have you receive answers to your prayers. But there must be there must be a way to go. There's some protocols how to go about receiving from God. So that's all I have for this afternoon. Thank you.